Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and if you wonder why we're at the Broomstick Fuel Slug, it's because I had a crazy idea that isn't going to work. My idea was to take this guy out to Tylo, and he's got a docking port right here that happens to be the same size as the docking port on the Flying Brick. And I was going to hook this guy to the Flying Brick, and then together they were going to slow down, and the Flying Brick was going to discard this guy, let him crash to the surface, and then land. The problem is, this guy's thrust to weight is so low, and it's just as bad on Tylo, trust me, that he actually hurts the thrust to weight of the broomstick, so it basically doesn't work. Sadly, that's it. That's all I got. So sadly, Fonvagen, you are staying up there forever. So we're just going to finish off the rest of these things here and be on our merry way. Let's go ahead and check out the pole probe, which has a burn in 6 days. Oh, these are the guys that have really poor turning circles, but I think we're done with all the major burning, which is nice. Let's just get him aimed in the direction we want to aim him. Make sure he has at least one solar panel aimed at the sun, because that would suck for a probe to run out of that. This gets me a Kerbin encounter on the next orbit, so that's what we're looking for here. And it says it's in 2 minutes, but honestly, I'm just going to do it here. And I'm going to do it very slowly for 2 reasons. 1, this guy is horrible to control, and 2, it doesn't matter. Well, it matters a little bit because I'm going to tweak this thing once it gets close. I'm just waiting for this thing to tell me I've got an encounter with Kerbin. There it is. Okay, now I need to find Kerbin on his orbit. Oh no, that's good. Okay, we're going to burn a little bit more here. Wow, I'm going to thrust limit him all the way down to the bare bones here. Looks like we had actually plotted a... not quite. He's going to miss just by a little bit. I'm trying different back and forth and forward and backwards to see if I can... Okay, let's tell you what. Let's consider that good. Because I bet you anything, if we made a maneuver node out here, if it would let us, which it never does. Radial. And normal, maybe? No, normal definitely won't do anything. Oh, it's so tantalizing. There we go. That's what we need to do. In 2 years? Seriously? I guess it is. It's 2 years from now. So, I mean, the periapsis we were set up was 5 years from now. So, hey, why not? Okay, so that's it for this guy. We're just going to let him sit here, and we're going to head over to the Zilla launcher and do the bot probe for the Zilla launcher and do the same thing. Okay, now... this guy, though, we're going to do something different here. We are going to trust the maneuver node to be perfect. We're just going to thrust at it and keep it aimed there until the burn is done. Which even thrust limited down isn't going to take that long. And yes, I am doing this at a tiny little, like, centimeters per second, because I want it to be perfect. Okay, that's as perfect as I can get it. Now let's check his Kerbin encounter and see what that looks like. Focus view on Kerbin. And that is absolute utter garbage. I guess it was just lucky that we got there before. Let's see. And we're doing minus on both. I feel like we could do better. Let's see where this maneuver node actually is here. It's right here. Let's go ahead and delete it. What if we instead did a maneuver node out here? Go back in orbit. How can this affect our maneuver? Let's try it. Let's try normally now. I bet that'll help. There we go. And a little bit of prograde, retrograde, radial. Let's try slowing down the prograde and retrograde. No, those don't really work. This doesn't help. There we go. That's looking good. Let's get it really close. And then a little bit minus. A little bit plus, and then go plus on this guy. There we go. And that's our collision. And that is in a year. So that's going to be a while before we do that. Let's worry about that later. Let's hop over to the low-tech to Jewel ship. Okay, now we're going to use this thing here to show us where Kerbin is, and it's right there. I am going to assume that I got a collision. I did. And it's coming in right over the North Pole, which is fine by me. Let's go ahead and watch that happen. Hello. Okay, you have no more stages except for your... your parachute. You do have a little bit of fuel left. You can take some science, so might as well... not an EVA report, that's for sure. Go and take a crew report and a temperature scan. That is super bright. I'm going to bring that ambient light down. There we go. Now we can actually see. And we should probably pull the chutes. What do you think? Yeah, I think you're right. Ta-da! We saved the engine. Well done. Let's see. We don't want to fall over. So let's go ahead and you hop out. Get your EVA report flying over Kerbin here. Hop back in because we apparently don't have anything else to do. And let's recover and see how much you give us. 474 science. Very nice. And some money. And most important, Liowen is home. Okay, the next thing to happen is... the Poland Bop Zilla launcher's coming home. So let's go ahead and jump to him and see if he's actually coming home. Oh, he is definitely coming home, so sweet. Yes, unlike the probes, you actually got an encounter with Kerbin, which is sweet. It is in a long 98 days, so let's go ahead and let that happen here. Okay, we have a collision with Kerbin. And it is definitely going to come down and crash, which is awesome. Okay, I think it's time to... let's raid the whole thing down. Why not? Doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and ditch this stage, actually. Let's go ahead and ditch this stage, actually. There we go. More water landings, but what are you going to do? Okay, let's go ahead and ditch this stage. Don't worry, Godzilla. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're so scared about. Nah, you don't seem scared. That's the way to do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. 231, very nice. $824 and Godzilla has come home to roost. Okay, and that is the other thing that doesn't matter. Okay, Drez, I need to read the note. No burn, just go to it to see the Drez encounter. Oh, let's go ahead and do that then. This is a crazy ship. Oh, I remember this ship. This is the ship that we're going to be landing this thing on Drez, which is pretty cool. Okay, we are not, as I said, using this maneuver node as a maneuver node. We are just doing it so once we get past here, we get the encounter. That's right. And there's our encounter. Now that we have our encounter, we can find Drez. Let's focus view on it. It's actually not too bad, to be honest. But like all things that are not too bad, we can do better. So out here, 4 years from now, we're going to set up a maneuver node. Actually, it's not 4 years from now. It's a mere something years from now. I don't know. Who cares? We're going to set up a maneuver node to get our periapsis, which is 3 years from now. Closer. And we're going to try a little prograde. That didn't work. Let's try this prograde now. Prograde and radial. That'll do it. Positive on the radial. Negative on the prograde. Okay, let's, I don't know which direction we're doing things. That looks pretty darn good. If we can nail that, I'll be happy. So that was all we had to do here, so let's go ahead and, these are a long way away. You know what we're going to do? We're going to actually skip these for the moment, and we're going to go back to Joule. Because now that I have given up on Fonvigen, and I am very sorry, Fonvigen, you are officially never going to get home. We need to bring everybody home who is out here, and by that I mean the Joule Challenge, the Flying Brick, and I think that might be it. But let's go to the Joule Challenge first. There you are. You need to plan an ejection. And you could not have a worse orbit to do this. Because if you start burning like this, you're going to go, yeah. Although if we go forward a bunch of orbits, there we go. That tosses you from the system in a way that is nothing like what we want. Yeah, this orbit is just garbage around Lathe. There's no other way to say it. I almost want to fix it, but part of me says, screw it. Let's tell you what. Let's leave Lathe and see what happens here when we just get out of Joule's Sphere of Influence. That's got to eventually get us an encounter with somebody, right? 28 minutes from now, let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to leave Lathe's Sphere of Influence, and then once we're in orbit around Joule, we're gonna actually do a burn to get out. And it's not the best thing to do in the world, but it's a lot better than the alternative, which is try to figure things out. Okay. That's good enough for me. All I really wanted to do was leave. And, okay, we want to go home, which means we want to burn right around here somewhere. And that's going to... Yes, that's bringing our thing down here. And we obviously want to burn in a slightly different place. Let's do it over here. That's what I have Precise Node installed for. We can go forward and back in time just a little bit. To make sure we get this set perfectly. And actually, we need to watch our periapsis here. If we set Kerbin as a target, there you go. Let's get our descending node just touching it here. If I go plus a little bit more, that's the beautiful bead footage. Okay, now where is Kerbin when this happens? Kerbin is here. So if we burn a little bit faster, that brings them together. But we also need radial? A little bit of radial. Oh. Now focus on Kerbin. We're going to try to nail at least a good... Actually, this is pretty good from here. But let's nail these down here and just see what two more tiny little normals and... Yeah, the radial's not doing it anymore. I think we're going to leave it right like that. The estimated burn is 3 minutes and 3 seconds. It is the next thing to happen, so let's go ahead and just do it. And the act of leaving the Sphere of Influence when I wasn't expecting it has caused some problems, but we can fix those. Just had to change my maneuver node a little bit. That happens sometimes. Okay, we are getting very close. I used a lot of my monoprop just pushing forward. I figured, hey, might as well get some use out of it, right? When we get down to about a second before the burn, I'm going to cut the engine, so we're going to jump to map mode to keep things perfect here. I'm assuming I'm going to need to aim right at it. Okay, here's our Kerbin. We still have no encounter, so let's go ahead and burn slowly here. You should see our encounter any second now. There it is. And if we get this thing perfectly set north and south, that's good enough. Then we can fix it at the midway point here. So right around here, one orbit down. We should just have to burn a little bit north. Or a lot bit north, actually. There we go. And smack into Kerbin. Looks good to me. Okay, 45 days he's leaving, so let's go ahead and get him out of Jewel's sphere of influence. And he is away from Jewel, and on his way to Kerbin with that burn that will get him a nice, tight encounter. Okay, now let's go to the next ship that's also at Jewel, which is the Flying Brick. Yeah, we've got 3 ships here. We've got Fonvigen, who is on Jewel on Tylo forever. We've got the Flying Brick, and we've got Fonvigen's friend, who is sadly going to leave him up there. But he's going to be the last one to go. Okay, you want to leave Tylo in such a way as to leave Jewel backwards. So I think actually first let's do this right, because we set up our orbit like this so that it would be easy to do this and flatten this thing up a little bit, at least mostly. And I totally boned it up, but let's do it anyway. I'm 40 minutes ahead, but that's okay. It'll still flatten it out pretty much, and this is actually better than the one we had because we're closer to the plane now. That's why I did it that way. That time warp just like freaked out on me. We want, let's see, when Tylo is kind of over here, I guess is what we want. So let's go ahead and speed time up. So I think it's going to be on our next orbit here. Yeah, let's go ahead and plan for it to be right here. Why not? Okay, that's looking pretty good. We're actually coming in below Eve's orbit, though. Don't really need that, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and get this into Kerbin orbit. Let's go ahead and set Kerbin as the target. Okay, now this guy, we're going to need to do some funky something. Mostly, I'm just playing with the radial and the prograde. Until I get close. And we have our encounter. You would... Oh, that's... I basically can't do better than that. Oh, that gets a moon encounter. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's kind of cool. It swerves south of Kerbin and then gets a moon encounter. I'm actually going to leave it like this because then at our normal thing we'll be able to do this. So, this is in a day and 5 hours. Okay, and as soon as this fuel is out, although it probably will last 700... Oh, yeah, it's just going to last. We're actually going to carry this all the way back to Kerbin. Probably. Yeah, it's really sad this guy just didn't have the beef. I mean, I'm not blaming Marindel, that's for sure. You didn't design this thing to land on Tylo. There's no reason it should have. But it was so tantalizingly close to being able to. I just hate to send it home empty-handed, empty-clawed, I guess. Speaking of the claw, let's go ahead and close that thing. You will not be clawing Fonvigen this trip. Or any trip, really, because this is the end of the space program. Yeah, now that's what the node would get us, but how don't we burn a little bit more? And just get the encounter right there. That's nailing it. Okay, don't need this anymore. Flying Brick, you are leaving Tylo's sphere of influence in 21 minutes. And you are leaving Jewel in 64 days. Which is kind of funny. Oh, Francois' Jewel challenge must have left. I have no idea what's going on. But we got one more thing to do. And that is, after one last message over the radio, Fonvagen tells Marul that just go home, leave me here. I'm not worth it. Actually, honestly and amusingly, this ship actually has the best Delta V of anything. This guy probably could have connected to the back of the Jewel Anywhere and helped it down. Ah, why do you show me this after I've done it? It would have been a bad idea, because at the best I would have stranded more people on the surface, really, when it comes down to it. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what we got here. Actually, it looks like we're in roughly the perfect place to leave Jewel. We are. So let's plan our eject right now. 5 minutes from now. And an encounter. Yeah, it seems like wow, 438. That's a lot extra, but really it's only 100 added to the total. And I mean, 1062 is about what you'd be burning anyway to leave Tylo to get back home. So yeah, you can get home at any time from Jewel. You don't need to wait for a window. Now, let's go ahead and bring these things way down, because that's crazy. Okay, now we're going to radial this way. Give it a little bit on the prograde. No. I think that's the best we can do, and then that'll get us our normal, and then we can fix that from later. Okay, that's in 6 minutes. It is 1,000 meters per second. That's going to be 20 seconds, plus we need another 400 or so. That's less than 10% of this, so 10% of 5 minutes is, I have no idea what. 20% of 5 minutes is 1 minute, so it's 30 seconds. So we're talking 50 seconds of burning, give or take. And the first part of this is going to be a little bit faster than the second part, because we're going to run out of, we're going to use up these tanks and drop them. And let's make sure we've collected all the data. And there they go. Yeah, because now, now we've got 50 seconds of burning to do. I thought it was 30, but apparently I was wrong. And that was it. Wow. Okay, I think we're going to live with that. Because this looks like it's going to start screwing up. So we're going to live with that. And that's in a long time. So, Marindel's Jewel Anywhere to Tylo is the next thing to happen. Oh, that's this guy. I know my ship so well. Marul has left his friend Fonvagen behind on Fonvagen's insistence. That sounds like a wrong word, but I'm just going to go with it. That he do so. Oh, we're leaving Tylo's sphere of influence. That's what this is. And the next thing is... Really? It's this guy? Yeah, apparently it is. Who knew? Celestial mechanics is weird. But the next thing to happen is him leaving Jewel's sphere of influence. Let's go ahead and do that. I have a feeling bad things are happening right now. Why are you so close to Jewel? Okay, I think Tylo screwed you up. What are you doing? Okay, let's yeah, you have a die orbit here. I have no idea what happened. You interacted with Tylo, and the biggest load of BS just occurred, and you are gonna die. Marul felt so bad. Do you have an antenna? No transmitter on vessel. Oh, jeez. I don't think there's any chance that we have enough fuel to save this. Oh, your maneuver node doesn't matter anymore. Dang it all! Why did the game do this? I mean, we need to burn, like... Yeah, you're dead. This is why you take quick saves even when you do a Iron Man session, because sometimes the game just wants you to die. Sorry. First Kerbal on the surface of Jewel. That's what Marul wanted for his... So his friend His friend wouldn't have died in vain. Somebody died with him, I guess. I don't know. Hey, at least our atmospheric efficiency is 1. That's what you've always dreamed for during launch. I think this is bad. Hey, there's Tylo. There's Vol, I think. I'm going to guess that this is a bad thing. I think I've seen this before. And I think it means we broke the universe. Marul, you are very green. You've returned to the green pastures of your youth. Jewel apparently has Aurora Borealis. And Marul apparently dies. Okay, Flying Brick. You are leaving Jewel and going to Lathe. No. You are leaving Jewel and going to Sun is your next thing. Let's go ahead and delete this. There we go. Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna lose a couple ships here. We're getting some bugs. It's probably good that this series is almost over because weird stuff is happening, that's for sure. Okay, you are officially in Jewel Sphere of Influence, and you have an encounter with Kerbin coming up. But first we gotta go to the Bop Probe. Oh, hey! This is not what I had in mind. Apparently, he is leaving. Oh my god, look how fast he's going. Look how fast he's going. That's a big number. Okay, well, we can rule him out forever. Francois, let's see if you survive. Okay, technically, your ship is controllable, and everything appears fine. So let's assume that everything actually is fine. You have a burn in 98 days. There we go. Very nice. And collision is assured, which is exactly what we want. So, done and done. Read the note. No burn, just go to the Dresden counter. I am afraid because we had this before. So let's go ahead and jump to this ship and see what this means. How are you going to screw up? You have a maneuver node. So far, this ship has not exploded. Nothing has flown out into space. We're not plummeting into Jewel. I'm going to consider all these good things. I'm just going to do this burn here to the best of my ability. Oh, this is... I was like, what? That doesn't look like Kerbin. I'm going to consider that good enough. When we get into Dre's Sphere of Influence, we can fix that. Okay, Pole Probe. Let's see how you screw up. Okay, you are currently not flying out of Kerbin at 1 billion meters per second. I'm going to consider that a win. Apparently you seriously have a 0.1 meter per second burn in order to get your Kerbin encounter. That's hilarious. Okay, well, it's in 120 days, so you know what we're going to do. So this is to get a collision onto Kerbin. Let's go ahead and do the burn. Get the collision and call it good. Okay, I think we're going to do these two to get these guys back and hopefully crashed into Kerbin. I mean landed. And then we're going to save the last 4 of these things for the probably final episode, which is kind of crazy. Yep, we're closing in on Kerbin. Any second now it's going to show up. I'm just toggling the GUI on and off so that I can keep an eye on where it should be. Still can't see it. Now, granted, we're only a few days away from it, so we should be able... There it is. There's Kerbin right there. And Moon going around it. 5 years and 15 days you guys were out there. And it all ends now with a landing apparently on land, which is rare for this ship. Or for not this ship, for this series. Let's go ahead and do... Oh, you have a material study. Let's go ahead and take it. Keep it. Keep it. Let's collect it. Transfer all science. You go ahead and process that lab data. Oh, wait. Let's get rid of that stuff before it kills us. All the parachutes. Now, we don't want to process the lab data. We want to clean the experiments. That's what we want to do. There we go. Clean those experiments out. Maybe we can get another use out of them. Those things are plummeting to the earth. To the Kerbin, whatever. Oh, there's their shadows. Very nice. Go ahead and collect all data here. Oh, nice. 5 meters per second. Very pleasant ride home. And it falls over. And a couple explosions, but nothing major. And look at this. We get all new... Oh, we get a temperature scan. It's better than nothing. Okay, let's recover. 330 science. And a bunch of money. And Binary Stew, Mav, and Sizemore have returned home after not doing very much, sadly. And the final ship to come home is Marindel's Flying Brick. They tried their best, but ultimately they could not succeed. So in 400 days, they are going to finally come home. An entire year almost later than... Longer mission than the other ships, but they did have to capture an asteroid. They didn't capture the asteroid. They did have to go get an asteroid and take it out to Jewel. I actually wonder what happened to that asteroid. Let's find out together. The asteroid has been thrown from the system much like other things have. Who knows where it is? And who cares? Okay, I think we can safely dump our fuel tank that we don't need anymore. Let's go ahead and aim ourselves retrograde. We're going to lose our solar panels in a second here. And we're going to burn the engines just for the fun of it. Let's transfer all science into here, just in case we've got some more. Landing in a kind of an interesting spot here. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. I wonder what that was. It was a random smoke trail. Was that us? Because I know that sometimes there's wraparound in the smoke. I think that might have been us. That's kind of cool. Looks like we're going to land right here on this. Now, I'm worried because we have full tanks, so we're a lot heavier than Francois, than Marindel expected us to be coming home. But we are landing right in between all these lakes, which is pretty darn cool, I think. Oh, look, some of that survived. So we're going to use these engines to slow us down a little bit more. So nothing untoward happens here. Okay, we should have a shadow. There it is. Whoa. Oh god, nuclear fire, nuclear fire. But everybody lived. That's a lot of junk on the ground, but who cares? We have science. 174, we got a lot of money, and Marindel, Trix, and Marvin Rock survived the trip. Well, as we always do, let's buy a couple tech nodes here. 550 and 550, and that's it. Oh wait, 567. No, 550, one more. And you know what that means, though? The Classy Wrangler Mark IV and the Classy Wrangler Mark VI are both eligible to be flown. And I'm just showing you the Mark IV really quick. These are asteroid wranglers. If you look up at the top here, it's got a claw. I'm going to launch these. I'm not going to do asteroid grabbing with them. I'm honestly sick of this series. But I am going to launch this because I'm dying to see what it's like. I'm going to launch one of each to start out next episode, and then to finish out next episode, I'm bringing the last I'm doing the last two missions. We have yet to land on Dres or bring our Elu guys who failed home. Hope you're looking forward to it. I am too. I liked doing this. I totally screwed up my cadence here. I am Fifth Horseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later.